Well, I've got my peoples. What's going on today? Can't be lighting something up. You get me? Get the mind right quickly. Currently smoking on some Obama runts. You see it? Little Cali. I leave a little picture, a little flick there so you can see what we're dealing with. Yeah, man. I'm gonna leave my details up there so obviously you could just share images, the high talk, the weed talk, and just, you get me? Link up with a couple other weed enthusiasts. You feel me? Alright, cool. Shot that boy so much at times he caught on fire. Every single night I'm screaming fire. They're trying to count my pockets, baby. Watch I'm tired of one, I need 2 threesomes. Come on. You know why we're here today. You know why we're here today. Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, been freed from jail, man. He's been freed from jail. They released, man. It's been a long road for him still, but he's finally out. Finally out, man. Congratulations to him. I'm sure he's celebrating with his people, them. So yeah, man. A lot of people had many different thoughts about this. People thought they were going to throw the book at him. They were going to give him football numbers. He's out with his family right now. He's probably in bed with Mariah the Scientist right now as we speak. You get where I'm coming from? So it's mental. So initially they were looking to give him 45 years as a RICO, as for his involvement as in the RICO, as the head of the gang in the RICO. He was calling the shots. So they're trying to slap him with 45 years. You get me? I think that was the initial plea deal. He negotiated, sat down for a while on remand, as we say in the UK, whilst he was on trial. And he negotiated another plea deal. So he first of all, his lawyers are flipping awesome. Salute to his lawyers. They were looking to give him 45 years. They managed to get a plea deal of 20 years with 15 years on probation, including time served. So the 5 years time served and the 15 years on probation means he doesn't have to do a day in jail. So no, man, kudos to his lawyer. Obviously they literally had the government looking like a fool in there in the courtroom. Still, big up Woody. I don't know if I should big up Woody actually, but he had them looking like a fool in there, and a few others. Even like their evidence, it wasn't really looking, they didn't really, yeah, man. They made a big fool out of themselves. So, literally, big up Thug's lawyers, big up their legal team and whoever's representing him still, because, yeah, I like to say they won. It seems like they won anyways. It seems like they won. Like he comes out of jail today. So yeah, well done to them, as I said. One thing I actually wanted to take a deeper delve into, a deeper look at, is some of the cases within the court, like some of the cases they brought up in trial, literally. Yeah, these boys telling on him. A man like Gunna, a few other artists taking a plea deal early. He had his stepbrother, so he has a stepbrother called Umfuk. I think he done a 10-year bid or something like that, like recently. He's come out this is before Young Thug went to jail. So before Young Thug went to jail, his brother had done a 10-year bid or something like that. He's come out. Young Thug gave him a record deal, put him on, done a lot of things for him, innit? Literally, as you would for your stepbrother or your brother. They're properly locked in, innit? They're in this thing together. And when Young Thug got nicked and, you get me, had this big trial, he took the same plea deal as Gunna. You get me? The exact same plea deal, but no one really got onto Thug the same way they got onto Gunna. So if people weren't really calling Thug a snitch, Young Thug's stepbrother, then is Gunna really a snitch? I mean, see how I see things, you gotta keep it consistent. You gotta keep things consistent all across the board. So that's one little grey area, you feel me? Another thing I actually wanted to talk about was, yo, you know Young Thug for having some of the wildest lyrics. Excellent tonnage, out of the world. You get me? Combinations of flows, and we know what Young Thug could do. He's a bad boy in this music thing, innit? We know this. That's why they signed him. That's why they gave him his own record label. That's why he's such a boss. You feel me? I'm sure other factors play a part into that too. But yeah. Fam, he's been signed for his lyrics, right? And the very same lyrics that these record labels are actually invested, like saying, you know what, you're good, I'm gonna back you and put my money behind you. The very same reason he's been signed, which are these lyrics. These very same lyrics are being used against him in court. So it's a bit crazy. Like, is this some sort of plan? Is this some sort of, what's the idea behind this? He's a young youth in a ghetto struggling. All he knows, all he can see is rap as his way out, and he's fucking talented. He actually finally makes a way out with these lyrics that everyone's rating. You get me? Had to wear a dress because I had a, you know what I'm trying to say to you? We're all rating it. We're all rating it. But these very same lyrics are being used against him in trial. Quoting him verbatim. What does this mean, sir? But in this song, you said da-da-da-da-da. Crazy. Crazy. So that's just something, that's food for thought, innit? For those involved, like, it's literally some food for thought for you, innit? Don't know if it's a game, don't know if it's coincidence, but this is a running theme of lyrics being used against you in court. So mind what you say, mind how you're coming across, innit? Yeah, that's one. Another thing to look at is the same lyrics. Like some of his probation, he's out on probation, innit? But whilst he's on probation, yeah, obviously, he's gonna have a strict set of guidelines that he cannot violate. If he violates these guidelines, he's gonna get sent back to jail. So the 15 years on probation that he's got, if he violates these strict set of guidelines that they're gonna give him, which is how probation works, they're gonna lock him back up, and you're gonna have to do the rest of the 15 years in jail with it. So I'm not sure about all of the stipulations of the guidelines they give a fuck to follow. But I'm aware that they've told him he can't use any violent lyrics. And he can't link up with some of his brethren from before. No drugs. You get me? From what we know, we all know Thug like to dabble. Obviously, you can't be around no associates, no one from the trial. So essentially, like, what's going on with YSL? So it's just a long list of guidelines that they've given him to follow for him to stay free, for him to stay out of jail. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, well, fair enough. If we giving you 20 years, you've done 5 already on remand whilst the case was going on, and we're gonna give you 15 years on probation. But this was the same issue with Meek Mill. How do you expect, we're human. Everyone's bound to mess up at least once. Everyone's bound to mess up at least once. How do you expect the guy for 15 years to not accidentally or just as anyone would violate this? Like, you'd have to be pretty much a square to literally not violate some of the stipulations they've given him. So earlier when I made the point, has he won? Or is this really just a setup, knowing that, yeah, we'll give him a chance, but the chance we're going to give him, it's barely even half a chance, innit? We know him, we know what he's like. We've given him a strict set of guidelines, and all he has to do is catch and break one of them, and he's going to do the rest of the 15 years. So it is a bit techie. You get me? He's walking on a bit of a tightrope. I mean, it begs the question: are they setting him up to fail? Do you get what I'm trying to say? I mean, we like Thugga for the lyrics, for the songs he makes. What type of music will he have to start making now? You get what I'm trying to say? Now he's back home. Well gone for the people in Atlanta. Are people gonna be on toes? Well gone for Little Woody. Well gone for Gunna. What's gonna happen? How are they gonna react? Are they gonna have to move out of the hood? Are these men all cool on the low key? Who knows what's going on? Is this good for the industry? A lot of questions. They released Lucci too. I know they had an ongoing war. A lot of people lost their lives behind that war. You get me? A lot of men went to jail behind that war. Are they getting back in there? You get me? They putting the gloves back on. Are they clocking right? This is expensive still. The cost of war is expensive. You get me? Your head honcho sat down, Lucci, Young Thug, he just been released, he sat down, So it's like, you know what? Is it really worth it? He knows. And just before I go, I find it kind of ironic. I mean, just as Young Thug gets released, we lose Dirk, man. We lose little Dirk. Free little Dirk, man. They got man on a murder for hire charge. I made a video about that just before. So it's just pretty much looking like a little swap. You get me? And it's kind of heartbreaking, man. These are incredible artists, and we hate to see that happen to little Dirk, innit? But once again, man, congratulations to Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, the man. You get me? He's come up. He's having to walk a bit of a tightrope, but hopefully he could keep himself on the straight and narrow, innit? Pattern up that way. Yeah, man. Any of you lot have any thoughts, anything else to add, anything that we could just speak about, anything relating to the case or anything, literally just drop it in the comments. Get at me in the socials and let's wrap in it. Let's reason. But yeah, it was lovely speaking to you lot. You get me? I've got to crack on with some other stuff now. You see it? So, no, love to you, man. In a bit now. One.